Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Financial Path. Let me ask you this. Have you ever looked at your bank account just a few days after getting paid and thought, wait, where did all my money go? You felt good on payday, like you could finally breathe, maybe even treat yourself a little. But then, almost without noticing, your balance starts shrinking. A few meals out, some quick online orders, maybe a few bills, and suddenly you're back to square one, waiting for the next paycheck. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Nearly 2 out of 3 people live paycheck to paycheck. Not always because they don't earn enough, but because they lack a plan for their finances. Here's the good news. That can change, starting today. In this video, I'm going to show you a very simple routine to follow every time you get paid. Just a few smart steps that can help you save more, stress less, and build real wealth over time, even without your awareness of the point. Since this is about becoming richer, not overnight, but steadily and stealthily, month by month. If you're tired of starting from zero every payday, this is for you. Let's get into it. The first step to managing your money better is understanding exactly how much you really have to work with. That means knowing your net income, the money that actually lands in your bank account after taxes, insurance, retirement contributions, and other deductions are taken out. This is different from your salary or hourly wage. What you make and what you keep are often two very different numbers. So, don't look at your gross pay. Look at what you truly take home. If you get a regular paycheck, this number should be easy to find. Just check your pay stub or bank deposit. But if you have a job with tips, side gigs, or freelance work, your income might go up and down. In that case, look back at the past 3 to 6 months and find your average. Or, to be extra safe, use your lowest earning month as a starting point. It's better to underestimate than to run short. Once you've figured it out, write it down or type it into a spreadsheet or notes app. This is your starting line. Every financial decision you make, from paying bills to saving and investing, begins with this number. Knowing your net income gives you clarity. It puts you in control. You can't build a plan on guesses. This is the foundation of your budget, and it only takes a few minutes to figure out. So take the time. Know your number. This is where it all begins. Here's a quick example. Let's say you get paid twice a month, and each paycheck is $1,500 after taxes. That means your net monthly income is $3,000. That $3,000 is what you'll now use to plan your expenses, savings, and everything else. Before you pay the rent, before you buy groceries, before you even think about shopping or going out, pay yourself first. Now, what does that really mean? Paying yourself first means setting aside a portion of your income for your future self before you spend a single dollar on anything else. Instead of saving whatever is left over after all your bills and expenses, you do the opposite. You save first, then live on what's left. It's one of the most powerful habits in personal finance, and one of the most overlooked. Why does it work? Because if you wait until the end of the month to save what's left over, there's usually nothing left. Life always finds a way to spend it. But when you pay yourself first, you make saving a priority, not an afterthought. So, how do you actually do it? You pick a percentage of your income, say 10%, 15%, or even 20%, and move that money into a savings or investment account as soon as you get paid. The best way to do this is through automation. Set up an automatic transfer the day after your paycheck hits. This way, you won't even have to think about it, and you won't be tempted to spend it. Let's go back to our earlier example. If your monthly take-home pay is $3,000 and you decide to pay yourself first by saving 10%, that means you'd move $300 into savings or investments right away. You'd then plan the rest of your spending around the remaining $2,700. Can't do 10% yet? That's okay. Start with what you can. Even $50 or $100 is a win. It's not about the amount, it's about building the habit. This money you're setting aside isn't just for emergencies. It's for building wealth, reaching goals, and gaining freedom, so you're not always living paycheck to paycheck. Make it automatic, make it consistent, and most of all, make it a rule you don't break. Your future self will thank you. Now that you've started saving by paying yourself first, you might wonder, where should that money actually go? The first and most important place is your emergency fund. But wait, what's the difference between general savings and an emergency fund? Here's the key idea. An emergency fund is a specific type of savings. It's money set aside strictly for unexpected events. Think job loss, car repairs, medical bills, or a broken appliance. It's not for vacations, birthdays, or new gadgets. Those are planned expenses. Emergencies by nature are unplanned, and they can hit you hard and stress you significantly if you don't build an emergency fund in advance. So when we talked about saving 10% in the last step, part of that savings should be dedicated to building your emergency fund first. In other words, your emergency fund is a priority destination for your pay-yourself-first money until it's fully funded. How much should you save in this fund? The goal is to cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, just the things you truly need to live. That means rent, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, not luxury items. Let's go back to our example. If your monthly essential expenses add up to around $2,000, your emergency fund target would be between $6,000 and $12,000. So if you're saving $300 a month, 10% of a $3,000 income, you'd keep putting that into your emergency fund each month until you hit your target and it is full. After that, the savings from the you put yourself step each month will be deposited into a general savings account. Ensure that this fund is kept in a separate, easily accessible savings account, not in your checking account, and not in stocks or other high-risk investments. This is money you need and can reach quickly when life surprises you. Once it's fully built, you can use your savings for other goals, like investing or a vacation fund. But peace of mind, that starts here. I want to add something here. Some YouTubers disagree with prioritizing oneself. Instead, they focus on the necessary expenses. They think if you don't pay those bills first, you can't survive. Actually, it is not the fact. It is very like operating a business. If you lack an emergency fund, it is very like that the company lacks sufficient cash. Once the business encounters an unexpected challenge, the lack of cash can lead to bankruptcy, and the personal necessary expenses are similar to those of operating a business. Poorly operating a company can't result in a business collapsing immediately. From the analogy, it is clear that an emergency fund is more important and should be prioritized first. Now that you've saved for yourself and started building an emergency fund, it's time to handle the next priority, your essentials, also known as your true needs. But what exactly counts as a need? A need is something you must have to live and function. These are things that keep your life stable, your body healthy, and your work going. Think of them as the non-negotiables: rent or mortgage, shelter, groceries, basic food, not dining out, utilities, electricity, water, heating, internet if you work online, insurance, health, auto or renter's insurance, transportation, gas, bus fare, car payment, whatever gets you to work. If you lost your job or had to cut back severely, these are the items you'd still need to cover. Now, what's the difference between needs and wants? Wants are things that are nice to have, but not essential for survival or basic living. Dining out, streaming subscriptions, shopping for clothes beyond basics, and weekend getaways. Those are wants. We'll talk more about them in the next step. To organize your budget, review your bank statements, and list your recurring expenses, which are typically essential costs. Be specific, don't guess. Now let's go back to our example. If your net income is $3,000 per month, you should aim to spend no more than 50% or $1,500 on essentials. So maybe rent, $1,000, groceries, $300, utilities, $100, transportation, $100. If you're spending way more than that, don't panic, but it may be time to make some changes. Could you consider moving to a more affordable place? Cut utility bills? Carpool? Or use public transport? The changeability also shows that the needs have different levels. As in the example, the person has a $3,000 monthly net income and may consider $1,000 rent as an essential expense, while the person with a monthly income of $6,000 may find that $1,800 is his essential expense for rent. Therefore, essential expenses vary from individual to individual with different levels. Getting your essentials under control builds a solid foundation. It's not about cutting everything and living poor. It's about keeping your core expenses manageable so you can grow from a stable place. To effectively address these true needs, it is helpful to set up an automatic transfer for these essential expenses. This can help save your time and reduce unnecessary payment delays. At the same time, this can help avoid unnecessary additional fees. Let's be honest, most of us spend money on things we don't really need. These are called wants, and while it's okay to enjoy life, unchecked wants can quietly drain your bank account. So, how do you find them? Look back at your spending over the last 2 to 3 months. Use your bank or credit card statements. Go line by line. Highlight any expense that wasn't truly necessary for your day-to-day living. Things like streaming services you don't use, frequent food deliveries or dining out, impulse buys at the store, unused memberships or subscriptions, frequent coffee shop visits or snacks. In our example, with a $3,000 monthly income, let's say you find $60 per month on takeout, $40 per month on extra subscriptions, $100 on impulse shopping. That's $200 per month, $2,400 per year. That could go to better use. Now, what should you do with that freed up cash? Redirect it toward your goals, which means using it to build or boost your emergency fund, increase your savings or investments, pay down debt faster, or save up for a future purchase like a home, car, or vacation. Cutting wasteful spending isn't about being cheap, it's about being intentional. You're not depriving yourself, you're choosing a smarter path to financial freedom. Debt is the silent killer of wealth. It creeps in slowly: credit cards, personal loans, and payday loans. And before you know it, large chunks of your income are going toward interest instead of building your future. If you want financial freedom, you need to tackle your debt, especially any with interest rates over 10%. These are the most dangerous because they grow fast and drain your money quickly. There are 2 popular strategies to pay off debt: the avalanche method and the snowball method. Let's break them down. Avalanche method. Why is it called that? Because once it gets moving, it wipes out debt with increasing force, like an avalanche rolling downhill. Here's how it works. 1. List all your debts by interest rate, highest to lowest. 2. Pay the minimum on all your debts to avoid late fees. 3. Then, use every spare dollar you can toward the debt with the highest interest rate. 4. Once that's paid off, move on to the next highest. Example, you have 3 debts: $5,000 credit card at 20%, $2,000 personal loan at 10%, $1,000 store card at 0%. You'd make minimum payments on all 3, but throw everything extra at the 20% card. Mathematically, this saves you the most money over time. Say you can pay $500 a month total. Using the avalanche method, you'd pay off your debts in 21 months, with about $610 in interest. Snowball method. This is about psychology. You start small, like a snowball, and build momentum as you go. Here's how it works. 1. List your debts by balance, from smallest to largest. 2. Pay the minimum on all debts. 3. Use all extra money to pay off the smallest debt first. 4. Once paid off, roll that payment into the next smallest, and so on. Same debts, same $500 per month. You'd pay the $1,000 store card first, then the $2,000 loan, and finally the $5,000 card. It takes about 23 months, and you pay roughly $1,620 in interest, over $1,000 more than the avalanche method. So, which one should you use? Avalanche is better financially. You'll pay less interest. Snowball is better emotionally. You get faster wins and motivation. If you can stick to a plan, Avalanche saves you money. However, if you need quick wins to stay motivated, Snowball keeps you going. Either way, the goal remains the same: to crush your debt, reclaim your income, and buy your freedom. Once you've built your emergency fund and paid off your high-interest debts, it's time to move from protecting your money to growing it, and that means investing. But before you dive into stocks or crypto, it's important to know where to invest first. Some accounts give you special tax advantages, which help your money grow faster because you keep more of what you earn. Let's start with the most common types. 1. 401k. Start here if you have one. A 401k is a retirement savings plan offered by many employers. The money you contribute comes out of your paycheck before taxes, which lowers your taxable income. But here's the best part. Many companies offer something called a match. That means if you put in part of your paycheck, they'll add extra money too. For example, if your employer matches 100% of the first 3% and you earn $3,000 a month, putting in $90 gets you another $90 free. That's a 100% return instantly. You won't find that anywhere else. So if money is tight, just aim to contribute enough to get the full match. Don't leave free money on the table. 2. Roth IRA. Great for tax-free growth. If you qualify based on your income, a Roth IRA lets you invest after-tax money, but all your earnings grow tax-free, and you pay zero tax when you withdraw in retirement. That's a huge benefit, especially if you're younger and expect your income to grow over time. 3. HSA. Triple tax advantage. If you're eligible, a health savings account. HSA allows you to contribute pre-tax money, which grows tax-free, and you can spend it tax-free on qualified medical expenses. If you have a high-deductible health plan, this is an incredible tool to save for both health costs and retirement. Once you've used those tax-advantaged accounts to the limit, or if you want more flexibility, you can open a brokerage account. A brokerage account doesn't give you tax breaks, but it allows you to invest freely in stocks, bonds, ETFs, and index funds, and you can withdraw anytime. That flexibility is great once your basic retirement needs are covered. To keep things simple and smart, many people invest in low-cost index funds, like the S&P 500. This fund includes 500 of America's biggest companies, like Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. By buying into it, you're spreading your money across a large slice of the economy. It's stable, proven, and has historically returned around 7 to 10% per year over the long run. Set up automatic monthly investments, even if it's just $100, and let compound interest work its magic. Over time, your money earns money, and that money earns more money. In short, if money is tight, start with just enough to get your 401k match. Then consider a Roth IRA for long-term, tax-free growth. Add more to your 401k, or an HSA if possible. Only after that, move to a brokerage account. Like the previous steps, there is also a guiding percentage that can be used for the investing step. A good rule of thumb is to invest 15% to 20% of your net income each month if possible. This includes your 401k, Roth IRA, and even HSA if you're using it for retirement. With our example income of $3,000 a month, that would mean investing between $450 and $600. If you're not there yet, don't worry. Just start with what you can. Even $100 a month is a great beginning, and you can build from there. Investing isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about growing steadily, month by month, so one day your money can work harder than you do. Now comes the part most people forget about: spending guilt-free. After you've paid yourself, covered your essentials, handled your debt, and made smart investments, whatever money is left over, that's yours to enjoy. Yes, seriously, budgeting isn't about living like a monk or saying no to everything fun. It's about being intentional, making sure your money is going to the right places first so you can enjoy the rest without guilt. This is your fun money for things like eating out, hobbies, a night at the movies, or saving up for a trip. It's okay to enjoy life while managing your money. If you want to stay on track long term, you need space to breathe. That's what makes a budget sustainable. It shouldn't feel like punishment. It should feel like balance. So go ahead, plan your fun. Just make sure it fits within what's left after your priorities. That way, you stay responsible and enjoy your life along the way. This whole routine we've walked through, it's not something you do once and forget. It's a system, a cycle, and the real power comes when you repeat it every single time you get paid. Make it part of your payday habit, like brushing your teeth or checking your phone in the morning, a routine that keeps you focused and moving forward. Every time your paycheck arrives, follow these steps. Review how much you earned. Automatically save and invest your set amount. Check your spending from the last pay cycle. See if you're moving closer to your financial goals. And if you did well, treat yourself a little. You've earned it. When you repeat this process consistently, month after month, year after year, you will build wealth. Maybe not overnight, but steadily and surely. Because here's the truth. The richest people aren't always the ones who earn the most. They're the ones who stick to good habits and never stop. So don't just budget once. Make it a lifestyle. Your future self will thank you for it. Remember, money doesn't flow to those who wish for it. It flows to those who respect it, who track it, and who use it with intention. So next payday, don't just spend like you always have. Build, grow, repeat. Because every paycheck is a chance to become richer than you were yesterday. Not just financially, but in freedom, peace of mind, and control over your life. And that wraps up today's video. If you found this routine helpful, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more real-world money tips, and drop a comment below. Which step are you most excited to start? Or which part of your routine needs the biggest upgrade? Thanks so much for watching. Your financial journey starts now, and I'll see you in the next video.